Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. All across the country today, Americans honor Martin Luther King Jr. through parades, church services, and celebrations.
And here in Missoula, citizens and activists are honoring this civil rights leader. MTN's Connor McCauley joins us now live from Caras Park with more on tonight's rally and church service. Connor.
Jill and Dennis, I'm here with a crowd of people honoring the life of this important figure from the civil rights movement. There's lots of excitement in the air as people have taken to the streets after events throughout the day that have prompted discussion and reflection.
A number of organizations put on events throughout the city today. At the Roxy, an extra theater was needed just to fit the larger crowd. The large turnout was a pleasant surprise to the Roxy and event organizer Jason Forges.
I think that's good to see just because it shows that people are interested or aware.
He hopes this interest translates into new possibilities.
Yeah, so what it means to me is a possibility. People, I think, are uncomfortable with change or think change can't happen, but I mean, who's to say I would be sitting here talking to you today if Martin Luther King didn't do what he did? So I think for me, it means possibility.
People can make the change Dr. King dreamed of possible by giving back in the same way he did.
I think a good way to celebrate would be probably an element of service, giving back, maybe taking yourself out of your immediate picture or circle.
Jamar Galbraith is a prime example. He helped organize today's march across the Higgins Street Bridge and the celebration afterwards in St. Paul Lutheran's Church.
This is, sort of like the project of Dr. King's legacy, being able to have a community rally behind a great cause and reach across multiple lines and really embrace diversity in its truest sense.
A youth rally here at Caras Park started at 5, and this crowd is marching to St. Paul Lutheran's Community Church soon for a community celebration that starts at 6 p.m. Reporting from Missoula, Montana, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
All right, Connor, thank you. Now, Dr. King was not only a civil rights pioneer, he was a champion for the poor.
And there's a new exhibit at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. It showcases part of Dr. King's legacy, a movement to eradicate poverty in America. CBS's Mola Langhi reports from Washington, D.C.
We are going to walk non-violently and peacefully.
Most people remember Dr. Martin Luther King as a leading civil rights leader, but what's often forgotten was his legacy as a champion of America's poor.
Martin Luther King believed that ultimately economic justice and equality was as important as political or social equality.
A new exhibit, City of Hope, details the Poor People's Campaign, launched by Dr. King in 1968. The campaign put a face on poverty, a face that could have been any color. That concern sparked a movement that created Resurrection City.
Dr. King encouraged people from all over the country to come to Washington to take part in civil disobedience. That was Resurrection City. Now, clearly, it didn't end poverty, but it did shine a spotlight on it, providing a moment where the despair of America's poor could be seen.
I will give my full time to the campaign, and most of that time will be spent in Washington.
For 6 weeks, a tent city occupied 16 acres of the National Mall. Mark Steiner spent weeks living in Resurrection City.
Muddy, dirty. It was intense, but it was the camaraderie, the brotherhood and sisterhood inside was just amazing.
The Poor People's Campaign got lost during a tumultuous year in America. It was 1968. Dr. King and Robert F. Kennedy were both assassinated. Dr. King's death sparked race riots nationwide. It was the height of the civil rights movement, and massive anti-Vietnam War protests were taking place.
The fear that people had for the country and for each other and all was very much like the fear that people are stirring up right now.
The nationwide movement that Dr. King had dreamed of stalled, a crisis millions still face today. Mola Langhi, CBS News, Washington.
Events are planned at the King Center Atlanta to commemorate Dr. King's death in early April. And of course, we make progress on race relations, but there's still progress to be made. The Montana ACLU announced today that retail giant Walmart has apologized for a racist incident that happened at the company's Bozeman store. Last February in 2016, MSU professor Dr. Gilbert Calonde renewed his fishing license at the store. You may remember this story. He found an employee at the store deliberately typed the professor's occupation as, quote, clean toilets. Calonde is an African-American Montana resident. He returned to the store, asked for an apology, and for the license to be corrected. Walmart refused. And then in August of 2016, the Montana ACLU filed a Montana Human Rights Bureau complaint alleging discrimination on the basis of race.
The lawsuit for us is about making clear to the public that these kind of racist incidents are not just one-off bizarre incidents. They're rather part of the daily harassment that people of color in Montana experience.
Walmart's apology called the incident unacceptable, and the company promises to take steps to ensure it doesn't happen again. ACLU says the Montana Human Rights Bureau complaint has been concluded.
Our premier pond hockey tournament in northwest Montana has been canceled because the ice just isn't safe. The annual Montana Pond Hockey Classic was supposed to return to Foy's Lake in Kalispell this weekend, but a combination of variable temperatures and snow in recent weeks have left lake ice in an unstable condition. They call it soft snow ice. Organizers say they plan to move the tournament to a different location, but the warm weather and the snow at the other ponds still have bad ice. It's just not safe, so they had no choice but to cancel the tournament. Diane Medler with the Kalispell Convention and Visitors Bureau, who helped organize this event, says it's disappointing, of course, to have to cancel, but safety is the #1 priority here. Event organizers have offered to refund all but the non-refundable deposit to teams that had registered for that tournament. Time now to take a quick look at the region's weather and what's next for us. We did have some blue skies and mild temperatures today. How long will that stick around? Let's check in now with meteorologist Russ Thomas. He has his first forecast. Russ.
Yeah, thank you. I think over the next 2 to 3 days, generally speaking, we're going to be dry. That being said, I don't know that we're going to see as much sunshine tomorrow or Wednesday as we saw today. What a beautiful day we have had across the area. The entire state, in fact. Now it is very, very cold to our east, and coming up a little bit later, we'll take a look at those temperatures. So right now you see clouds are approaching from the west. The question is, when are they going to work their way into western Montana? Right now our current temperature is 43 Hamilton, 38 Missoula, and you can kind of get a taste here on the map of just how cold it is east of the divide. 11 in Great Falls, 11 Lewistown, and again we'll look all across the state at those numbers and wind chills coming up in just a few minutes.
A woman is facing drug charges after being arrested outside a Ronan car wash early Sunday. Ronan police say just after midnight on Sunday, 2 officers saw a silver Impala parked in the lot of the Suds and Duds and made contact with the occupants inside. They found 21-year-old Amber Michelle Parizeau was in possession of several small baggies of meth and other items related to drug activity. Police say an investigation showed Parizeau was intending to sell drugs in and around Ronan. The Ronan woman was arrested and booked into the Lake County Detention Center on 3 felony charges, all related to drugs. On Tuesday night, the Whitefish City Council is voting on a 102-unit resort housing development complex located near Big Mountain. Wisconsin Avenue begins at the end of Baker Street and runs past Big Mountain Road around the east side of Whitefish Lake. The Whitefish Development Partners are asking the council for a conditional use permit to develop 66 condos at 700 Wisconsin Avenue and another 36 condos at 900 Wisconsin Avenue across from the Alpine Market. The council was supposed to vote on this last month, but they postponed it to allow more time for detailed information from the developer because there's concern about the heightened traffic in the area if these condos were to be built. The work session and regular meeting to talk about it begins just after 7 o'clock tomorrow and will be held at Whitefish City Hall.
He's only been in office a year, but Ravalli County Commissioner Chris Hoffman is already gearing up for a re-election bid, formally filing his paperwork for the 2018 election. The short turnaround is because Hoffman was elected to a 2-year term in 2016 as part of the voter-approved plan to reduce the Board of County Commissioners from 5 to 3. That first term expires at the end of the year. But the former sheriff says he's had time to get adjusted to the new role and likes the work he's doing.
Well, obviously it's been a pretty big adjustment for me. I miss my crew across the street, obviously, and I knew that I would. But it's been in some ways what I expected. In other ways, I've been very pleasantly surprised. I think the board's got a good feel to it, and I think we've done a very good job of just taking care of the people's business here.
Hoffman's successor, Steve Holton, also filed to run again as sheriff last week, a year after taking over from his mentor. Hoffman says while he isn't wearing a badge anymore, there are aspects to the job of commissioner that are similar, such as managing tax dollars and interacting with constituents.
And that hasn't changed. You know, the problems are different and the things that I hear are different, but it's still an opportunity to help our neighbors.
Hoffman's fellow commissioners, incumbents Greg Chilcott and Jeff Burrows, have also filed for re-election to the new 3-member board, with Commissioners Ray Hawk and Doug Schallenberger announcing they'll step down at the end of this year as expected.
Well, still ahead, a whitefish skier qualifies for the Olympics. Derek has that story coming up later in sports.
And if you love pick-em-up trucks, you won't want to miss this next story. We'll take you to the annual auto show in Detroit for a look at this year's most popular trucks, coming up on KPAX.